What's up, guys? My name is Bryan Carreto, and on this channel, I teach you accounting, audit, and everything it takes to be an awesome CPA. Let's get right into today's question. The question is, and this is such a great question, I've got it so many times, I can't believe I haven't answered it. Can you get into accounting with a general business management business degree? And I'm going to tell you 4 reasons why I don't think that's probably the best route to go into if you just have a general business administration degree and going into accounting. Number 1, most firms, I know every big firm, any top 10 firm is going to require this. A smaller firm, maybe not, but most firms, I know top 10 are going to require an accounting degree. No ifs, ands, or buts. They usually always require an accounting degree or some sort of equivalent, whether it's a master's in accounting or some type of bachelor's in accounting. They're just going to require that. That's like just basic barrier to entry to get into a big accounting firm. So that's just that right off the back, you're not going to be able to work for a big firm. And my opinion, I think working for a big firm, especially when you're young in your career, I think that's probably the best place to start just because of the resources, the learning, the people you're around. I'm not saying that working at a small firm is bad. No, I didn't say that at all. But I do think sometimes working at a big firm does lend itself for you to learn more, develop, because of the people, the resources, and the clients you're going to be working on. So to start things off with a business management degree, you can't necessarily get a job at one of the big firms. Secondly, you can't sit for the CPA exam. You don't have the units to sit for the CPA exam. Usually an accounting degree and some additional units is going to be needed. So basis is just a 4-year accounting degree. Not only you can't even sit with a 4-year accounting degree for the exam right now. You'll need your 4-year, your bachelor's in accounting with additional units on top of that to sit for the CPA exam. Or if you get your bachelor's in God knows what and you get your master's in accounting, then you potentially have all the units you need to sit for the CPA exam. So, but I can tell you right now, with a 4-year degree, bachelor degree, and just like business administration, business management, you're not going to be able to sit for the CPA exam. And I always say this, I think if you're going to study accounting, if you're going to take accounting as a profession, if you want to be an accountant, I do not see why. I don't see any reason I can't. I've debated this with so many people. I don't understand why, or you can't convince me that getting the CPA license is not worth it. I just don't believe it. Maybe I'm biased, but I do feel the benefits and I've been able to experience it myself. So the fact that you can't sit for the CPA exam, you're not eligible for the CPA exam, you can't even become a CPA with an accounting, just a business management degree coming out of college, I don't recommend it. The third thing is that the jobs that you're going to be able to get with just like a business administration degree going into the work field is going to be like accounts payable, accounts receivable. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with those jobs. It's just that those jobs tend to give accounting the bad name about that it's really boring and that it's really repetitive. And it is. And again, these jobs are very important and every business needs them, right? Accounts receivable, accounts payable, basic, data journaling, basic clerical entry. But those jobs after a year, 2 or 3 can become very, 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 very monotonous and very repetitive. And in my opinion, if, always a topic about AI comes up with AI taking over accounting, I'll make a whole separate video on AI and how I think it's going to impact the accounting industry. But if AI were to take over one thing, it's going to be that basic data entry, accounts receivable, accounts payable, things of that nature. And I think those are pretty much the only job that you're going to be able to get coming out with just a regular business administration degree without an emphasis in accounting. I will caveat this third point that the job you get into, I've met certain controllers at certain companies that they didn't really have an accounting degree, but they started within the company and they kind of worked themselves up to that controller position. But this took 20, 25, 30 years to get to. So I don't know if you necessarily want to wait that long. And again, I think some people that get into companies that build themselves up to these really high level positions, they're really good at being at that one company, but if you put them somewhere else, or if you were to put them in a whole separate department with a whole separate system, with whole separate controls and things to do, they're like a deer in headlights. And I've experienced that in my own career working with certain people that maybe in certain settings, because they've been there so long, they know the systems, they know the system, but they don't necessarily know the accounting behind it. It's kind of hard to explain. I can make a whole separate video on it because I think that's a really big topic, how some people end up at certain companies and they work there for years on end and they end up getting these really high level positions, but they've just been there that long that they understand the business. But if you were to put them somewhere else, it'd be really hard for them to adapt because the underlying baseline foundation is strictly related to that company, not necessarily their really strong foundation of accounting principles and topics and finance and all these other things. So that is another reason why I think the jobs you're able to get with just a business administration degree going into accounting, they're probably not the sexiest, they're probably not the most fun, and after 2-3 years, they're going to get really repetitive and monotonous. And I just don't think having a basic just a business administration degree, you don't necessarily have the debit and credit knowledge, the fundamental accounting principles I preach on this channel that you need to learn and develop as a CPA, as an accountant. I just don't think you get them from a business administration degree. I think you definitely, and I'm not saying that an accounting degree is foolproof and you're going to learn debits and credits like the back of your hand. I know various people that graduated with accounting degrees that don't know anything about accounting that ended up doing something different. But I do think getting an accounting degree and studying accounting and making that an emphasis and getting that as your bachelor's, I do think if you utilize it well, if you spend the time studying, I do think it sets you up for success as far as being able to understand debits and credits. Whereas if you just have a business administration degree, I don't think you have the baseline foundation to be able to build upon that and build a really strong career in accounting. I think if you have a business administration degree, unfortunately, the way the system is set up in the US is that you would probably have to go get a master's in accounting, which is unfortunate because I hate for you to guys have to spend money, but you would have to get a master's in accounting to then be eligible for, working at a big firm, sitting for the CPA exam, being eligible for other jobs that you're going to be able to do. And also you'll build a baseline foundation for debits and credits. So unfortunately, it's not the best answer I can give you, but with just a business administration degree, it's probably not the best move to move into accounting. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm telling you that your opportunities are going to be very limited to, again, like I said, AR, AP clerk. You're not going to really be able to work at these big firms. You can't sit for the CPA exam, and I just don't think you've learned enough debits and credits yet. So unfortunately, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's really tough to build a really successful career on just having a business administration degree. But if anyone watching this video has built a really successful career without an accounting degree, without a CPA license, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let me know. But if you found value in this video, make sure to smash the like button below. Till next time, peace.